Yes, please.
All right, thank you. So the conversation is about fake feminism. My contention is that it is mainstream feminism that is problematic. The feminism of power corridors, the feminism of international organizations like WEF and UN Women. WEF has got this gender gap index, which is clearly a misunderstood index. You have the mainstream media, you have the academia. I'm talking about the feminism of power corridors, the feminism that actually guides the world. That is what is problematic, and this is something that we have to address. Now, let me point out four specific parameters. Right? Do you believe in the oppressor oppressed binary between men and women? Do you believe in equality of outcomes? Right? As in, do you want more reservation for women in tech? Do you believe in the male privilege narrative? Right? Do you believe that men are privileged by virtue of being men? Even though 90% of the homeless in India are men, according to a Reuters report, 70% of suicides are men, 75% of the COVID distress calls were from men, mental distress calls were from men. Men perform the so-called glass seller jobs, the lowest of the low, the most risky jobs in society. In India, the boys' dropout rate is higher than girls. So I'm not saying women do not have issues, but the male privilege narrative assumes that men are privileged as a gender. So do you agree with this narrative? Are you in support of the misandrist laws that Deepika ji spoke about? She's spoken about quite a few laws. So are you in support of these laws? So the thing is, most power corridors that I mentioned, right, the feminism that actually affects our lives, they believe in these factors. It is actually up to the feminists, the so-called true feminists, to tell us why we should believe in feminism anymore. Now, I actually understand where the conversation is coming from. People who call themselves true feminists, who think that they do not believe in any of these, they think of themselves as first wave equity feminists, the kind of that Camille Paglia or Christina Hoff Sommers represents. But we have to acknowledge the fact that Camille Paglia or Christina Summers are a micro minority when it comes to power corridors. So feminism itself has to reinvent itself or has to present itself. The mainstream feminist corridors have to tell us why, have to present a more rational face. Unless you change the mainstream feminist narrative, you will always have questions raised against feminism. Thank you.